Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the presentation of our bid for the meal planner software. Presenting to you today will be myself, Kenila Montague, Jamoy Bruce, Antonio Johnson, Trayvon Morrison, Najee Porter, and Kyle. Throughout this presentation, we will be giving a brief project description, the functional and non-functional requirements of the software, as well as a system model and a viewing of the graphical user interface.
The application will accept information such as weight, target weight, underlying conditions, and budget, and other information. The customers will be asked to enter the food they have in their house along with the quantity. In addition, a food exclusion list will be generated based on the customer's underlying condition.
The application will then generate a meal plan. This meal plan will be generated based on the food exclusion list, the 3 food groups, body mass index, and the fitness level.
Okay, so the functional requirements defines the function of the system or its components. And our first functional requirement will be accepting and updating user information. Now, in order to give each user a personalized experience, we ask that our users enter personal data, like your name, your weights, target weights, and all those good stuff to let us know who you are. Our food database. This will be a list of all, and I'm a bit exaggerant when I say all, but all foods that are known, right? However, you will be able to update this food database if we miss something that you know, right? So let's say in America, they don't really know about certain Jamaican stuff like it. They know good Maggie seasoning and stuff. So if those seasonings or food items are not in our food database, our users will be able to update it. Our BMI calculation. This is simply a height to weight ratio to let us know whether you are overweight, underweight, or just right in order for us to tailor meals that are more suitable to you. Our food exclusion list. After entering, all your information based on your underlying conditions, dietary constraints, or all those stuff, we then generate a list of taboo food items, food that you are not allowed to eat or food that you can only eat in small portions. Next up, we have our pantry database. Remember, we had our food database, right? So the pantry database now is what you, the user, has in your home. So, after you go to the supermarket and you come home and you stock up your cupboard and your fridge, you have the midnight stock under your pillow. Whatever food items you have to find it in our database or update our food database to let us know that, okay, you have these items available to you. And then last but not least, we have our meal suggestions. Now, these will be based off what is in your pantry and your pantry alone. We cannot suggest to you something that you do not have at home. Like, let's say you only have chicken or fish, we cannot tell you to cook beef. Now for our non-functional requirements. These requirements are more so of constraints to our software, right? Things that, if these are not available, we cannot work with you, all right? So first up is our operating system. And, I'm very sorry for all those people who love Apple devices, your iOS operating system. We are catering to those Android devices out there, people like myself. All right. All right. So accessibility. Now we know that at the startup of the software, we need you to enter your information, right? And afterwards, we would need to do some amount of analysis. So internet access is required for the startup and the startup only. Well, updating purposes, sure, you will need internet access, but for the day-to-day use, internet is not required. And now for a meal suggestion. For each meal that our software suggests to you, it must contain at least 3 different food groups. So the meal has to have maybe fats and oils and carbohydrates and protein, right? We can't simply provide to you carbohydrates or just protein. It has to be a mixture, all right?
Use case. So the user will use the app to do 3 main things: generate the meal suggestion, update the personal information, and update the pantry. Now, in order to give a personalized experience, we have put in place a login functionality. This is to ensure that someone cannot view the personal information on the customers. So they'll need to, of course, enter their password, and if the password is incorrect, it will display an error message. Next thing is that they can generate a meal suggestion. Now, to generate a meal suggestion, as we had said earlier, we'll be using various information such as the accepted meals, which would come from the food exclusion list, the stock in the pantry, and the budget that you had given. But we don't want to suggest meals that exceed the budget. We don't want to suggest meals that you don't have the ingredients to make. And we don't want to just suggest meals that you cannot eat. For example, you don't eat pork or you don't eat peanut or whatever. Accept and update user database. So as time progresses, information might change, like your height, your weight, the current fitness level, and we'll factor in this in how we suggest meals. So the app would be working with you along every step of the way. And of course, update your pantry. So you go grocery every 2 weeks, so you go grocery shopping every month. You can update the app and say, well, I now have these information. Now have these food, so that the app can now suggest more food items. The data flow diagram. So the user will provide their personal information, which will be on the user data. They're going to provide their preferred meal plans. So that is, for example, if they don't eat certain things, they're going to provide with the pantry, which is what they have, and the system is going to give them back a meal suggestion. So this is a high level abstraction of how the user will interact with the system. So this is now a more detailed demonstration of how the user will interact with the system. So once more, user will supply data to the system. It will be stored in a user database. Now the height and the weight will be extracted, and it will be used to calculate the body mass index. That body mass index is going to be used to generate the recommended calorie intake. That recommended calorie intake and the body mass index will be stored in the user database. The dietary constraints and the underlying conditions that the user has supplied will be used to generate a food exclusion list. This data, along with the recommended calorie intake, will be used to generate a meal suggestion. Along with that, we're going to use the pantry information that was supplied as well as the preferred meal options, which is really just food that the user.
Introducing the graphical user interface of the Eat Right Meal Planner app. So like, first time using the app, we will approach a loading screen. At this loading screen, the user will be introduced to a short preview of what to expect from the Eat Right Meal Planner app. Advancing from that screen, we will stumble upon where the user will be able to either sign in or create an account. The user will also be able to use Facebook or Google sign in, that's no problem. This is where the user will be able to do BMI calculations. So like, they would just put in like a bit of information. Let's say like your weight, your target weight, your height, your age. Oh yes, and let's not forget your gender. Advancing, the user will also be able to enter their underlying health conditions or their dietary constraints. So let's say that a person has like high blood pressure. They can also do like a search on that, or like they can also like use their voice and also like, yes, high cholesterol, and the app will also search for it. When the BMI calculations are done, the app is able to determine if the user is either healthy, underweight, or overweight. They will be given an option on how to begin their journey of utilizing the app. And don't worry, this can also be changed later. Here is where the user is also able to make a weekly budget. They are also able to start with an initial pantry. Also, like, there's a feature where as like for bulk items, 1 tub would be equal to half a pound and 2 tubs would be equal to 1 pound. And also for single items, 1 tub would be equal to 1.
This would be the home page for the app. So there'll be a personalized message to the person name to say, hello, person name, welcome back. They'll see the meal suggestions there along the estimated cost, a picture of the meal, the difficulty with which it takes to cook it, total time it takes to cook it, calories, cook time, prep time. It has all of those information there. This is now over here is a more close-up view of exactly what it has. Now they'll be able to click the preview button to see more about the meal, or they can slide across and click the spicy chicken and look on it. Now let us get more familiar with the user interface. So the host will take them to the home screen. The shopping cart will take them to the quick pantry update. The store button will take them to the add new food to pantry. The will take them to the view current or upcoming meals. The gear wheel will take them to the view app settings. The burger menu, which is a 2 lines, will bring them to the menu on the left hand, and the eye will allow them to preview meals. They'll also have a daily calorie intake meter. I will show them how much they have taken or intake for the day. Now, they'll be able to see the video, so they could click the watch now button and see a video how the meal is produced. They can schedule the meal, they can start the meal prep, they'll be able to see the ingredients there. And now the beauty about this software is that it is smart. So, for example, if there is a low stock for an ingredient, we will have a yellow and red exclamation mark. If it is that the user has enough in their pantry, it will have a black tick with a green circle. It will also have the instructions on how to prepare and the nutritional information. They'll be able to search for a meal, they'll be able to do a quick pantry update, and they'll be able to do personal or update the app so they can view their account, they can update the pantry, they can update their dietary constraints, they can change password, edit health information, change currency, log out. This is just giving them added functionalities with the app. This section will be where they get real-time notification. So say that the user had selected to be reminded for their meal at 5 p.m. They'll get a push notification that will show up on the home screen at 5 p.m. with the recommended meal. They can, if they're having issues with the app, they can click the troubleshoot button that will be located in the burger menu, and they'll be able to see information about the developers as well as so on how to contact us as well as self-help. Thank you for hearing our presentation on the Meal Planner app. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.